There's no end of the road as the years come and go for my vagabond soul.
Hi, it's Hattie Malone with Vagabond Soul's Music Corner. Today I'm sharing a good friend of mine, Kent Gray's music with you. I met Kent a number of years ago when I first moved to Nashville back in '95, maybe a little later, through a mutual friend, Jimmy Muffin Yessian, who also is from California and co-wrote a lot of songs with Kent. Jimmy recently passed away and left a huge void in many of our lives, and we miss him dearly. But now Kent, back to him, he was born and raised an hour south of Bakersfield, California, in a small town called Canyon Country. And like many of today's successful country recording artists, Kent began singing in church as a small child. He began performing at 10 years old at the world-famous Palomino Club in North Hollywood, California. Now, if you're not familiar with the Palomino, you need to look it up, because that club launched a lot of careers of very famous country artists. It was the place that I used to hang out with and had my going away party back in '95 when I moved from LA to Nashville. It's a super cool place, or was. It's not there anymore, unfortunately. But eventually, Kent went on to teach himself how to play guitar, and he went on to become a published songwriter at the tender age of 17. Shortly thereafter, he would go on to form one of California's premier working country bands, Loose Boot. Kent and the band performed throughout the western United States and Canada, as well as many overseas engagements. Kent was featured on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno when he brought a remote TV crew to the Palomino Club to feature Kent on an episode spotlighting the California country music scene. Kent and his music have been featured on many motion picture and television productions, as well as several national TV and radio commercials, including CMT's In the Moment with Gretchen Wilson, Toby Keith's Driven, PBR's Greatest Moments, Kenwood Stereo commercials, and much more. Today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite songs of Kent's called Lose Your Religion, which I feel is very apropos for our today's world. So I hope you enjoy it. You can find all of Kent Gray's music on all the streaming platforms, especially Spotify, and we'll also post a link to his website, so you can check that out as well. So here is Lose Your Religion by Kent Gray.
Well, I know the righteous and the holy go straight up to heaven when they die. But what about the rest of us? Does God love us that much? No one would make the mistake of calling me a perfect man, but I pray every day that I'm doing the best I can. But there's men of the cloth out there avoiding prosecution. We gotta keep God out of school, it's against the Constitution. Al-Qaeda's hiding out in caves, the West Bank was bombed again today. What they say and do is such a contradiction. It's almost enough to make you lose your religion. Sunday morning there's a preacher on TV holding out his hand. Send your love gift in and you'll be a better man. I bet he lives in $1 million mansion and drives a Mercedes-Benz, while I'm always working overtime. Now I'm still barely getting by. The church used to be a house corporation. Barely a penny goes to help a child from your dollar donation. And they swear they're gonna save the world, one soul at a time. But the path to hell's been paved with good intentions. It's almost enough to make you lose your religion. We're a nation under siege. Without justice, there's no peace. And it's time for us to make some hard decisions. It's almost enough to make you lose your religion.